Alright, so hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, by the title, we are doing another book video. I'm super excited for this video because we are doing the brothers best friend trope book recommendations. If anyone knows me, they know that my favorite trope is brothers best friend or just like enemies to lovers. I feel like it's because I have an older brother, but he never brought home any nice or good looking friends. So this is me living my fantasy through books, right? Right, cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna show you guys my book recommendations that I have. I pick up like pretty much every book that I see that's like my brother's best friends troping, like it's involved in some type of way. So that is what we are doing today. So I'm going to give you guys a little description of the book and all that. I have read all of these, so yeah, but let's just jump into the video and I'll show you guys all the book recommendations I have. So yeah, okay, hi, we have this is the book pile. All right, so here are all the books that I have that are brothers best friends that I have read. So let's get into the pile. Okay, all right, so the first book we have here is The Chase by Elle Kennedy. This is the first book in the Briar U series. It is like the second series from the off-campus series, if that makes sense. I feel like everyone has read like the off-campus and Briar U series, but this one does include my brother's best friend's trope in it. It's like a hockey romance, like a sports romance and all that. So it ends up being like the main characters, Summer and Fitzy. Those are the two love interests. Summer ends up moving into like her brother's old like campus place, and she ends up staying with all of her brother's like friends and stuff because she gets kicked out of her school. So she's living with all these hockey players and she has a crush on Fitz, but he's like, no, you're off limits, like you're my best friend's little sister. So yeah, they end up living together, which kind of creates a little bit of tension in the house. And she's like, okay, you're not interested in me, I'm gonna like hang out with other guys because you obviously don't want me. But she's like, oh, I like him, he's cute, you know what I mean? But yeah, this one is like a hockey romance and it has to do with the correlation in the other books. But yeah, you kind of have to read all of it for it to make sense. Yeah, but yeah, this is the first recommendation here. I feel like everyone has read this one. This one isn't my favorite brother's best friend book, but it's one of them, so I just decided to include it. So this is the first one here. Alright, so the next one we have here is The Off Limits Rule by Sarah Adams. I read this one in the summertime of last year and it wasn't my favorite brother's best friend trope. I don't know, I feel like it took me a really hard time to get through this. Like I struggled reading the book. It just didn't like pull me in a lot. But if you like kind of like rom-com type of books, it's definitely for you. But the main character actually has a son and she ends up moving in with her brother because she can't afford to live on her own. Her ex is like trash. And anyways, but yeah, they end up kind of spending more time together because of her brother. And he's like looking out for her as most brothers best friends do. So yeah, that's what this one's about. Like I said, it wasn't my favorite. Honestly, this one was like a 2.53 star rate for me, but if you like rom-coms, you'll probably like this. It just wasn't my favorite, but it's there. Alright, so the next one we have here is Beneath the Stands by Emily McIntyre. This is part of a series. It's the Sugar Lake series. This is the second book in the series. This one isn't brother's best friend, but it's best friend's brother, if that makes sense. So yeah, but this one is the second book and the main character, Becca, actually hates her best friend's brother. Basically, a whole bunch of shit happened down between them and between her best friend and her brother. So she obviously sided with her best friend. So it's kind of like a mini enemies to lovers, best friend's brother type of trope, I guess. But this one was actually really good. I like this series a lot. This is like kind of like more country based, like not country based, but they're in like the South, I think. I haven't read this book in a hot minute, but this one was really good. It's like a forbidden love. And yeah, they hate each other, but they're attracted to each other at the same time. These ones I think you can read as interconnected standalones, so you don't have to read all three series together, like all three books together. But it makes, or is there 4 books? There's 4 books, sorry. But yeah, you don't have to read all of them together, but it makes sense to do it. Like it's all interconnected. So yeah, this is the second book in the series. This one was pretty good. Yeah, this one, yeah, I honestly haven't read this one in a minute, so I can't remember how I felt about it. I read this one early last year, I know I liked it, but I can't remember the exact rating. So yeah, this one's this one. Alright, so the next one we have here is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Everyone and their mom has read this one, I think, pretty much. But yes, this is a brother's best friend. She ends up coming to live with her brother, who is a pilot, and his best friend lives across the hall, which his name is Miles. So yeah, it kind of, and this one is kind of like an enemies to lovers, brother's best friend one as well. But this one is kind of like a secret dating one as well. I don't even know. Yeah, they end up kind of like, it's not really a thing, but I don't know how to explain this one. Basically, they end up having like an open like relationship. They just want to have sex and not have like any commitment, and feelings get involved. So that is what this one is about. But yeah, okay, there's this one. This one's like really good though. I'm not giving any, I don't want to ruin it, but this one's so good. I know I'm making it sound like it's not, but this is so good. Honestly, it's one of my favorite books. It's a 5-star read for me. There are some stuff in here, so just kind of like read about it before you do. I don't personally like to read about Colleen Hoover's books just because I like to be surprised about them. So, but yeah, this one is a 5-star read. I loved this. Super good. Very unexpected turn. So yeah. Alright, so the next one is To Love Jason Thorne by Ella Mays. This one was really good. There was this one part in the book though that I didn't like, so I'm just letting y'all know. It was weird. But this one is brother's best friend, kind of second chance at love. Basically, this one's like set like a couple years down the road. Like they knew each other when they were younger, and he ended up moving away and they didn't talk for like years on end. She ends up becoming a author and her book is becoming a movie, and he's a famous actor, and he ends up being like the main character star for her book, and they have to work together. I can't remember if this is a fake dating one. It might be. I can't remember, honestly. I read this one a while. Don't you guys hate that when you read books and you can't remember the plot of it? Yeah. But anyways, I think it might be, I don't know if it's a fake dating. I don't quote me on that. But this one was pretty good, minus that weird part in the book that made me uncomfortable. So, yeah, this one was pretty good. Alright, so the next one is Where Good Girls Go to Die by Holly Renee. This is part of the Good Girls series. I actually love this series. It's like a pretty short one though. Like you can see the books are thin. I actually really like this. I'd probably give this like a 4, maybe 4.5 stars out of 5. Yeah, probably like a 4 stars. I really like this though. But yeah, basically she's always been in love with her brother's best friend, and she thought that he was worth the risk and all that, so they ended up kind of like doing stuff when they were younger. He broke her heart and she ended up running away, so that's what happened. And then fast forward 4 years later, they're in the present, and her brother and her end up kind of connecting back together, and she ends up moving back home, and the brother's best friend is always there in her business. They're always around each other, so they end up kind of like spending more time together, but not on purpose. Like they just run into each other all the time. Yeah, it's kind of like a second chance of love, but not really, because they can't be together. Yeah, because he's engaged, so that's like a no bueno. Yeah, it's very good. This one I really liked. It was very unexpected. The beginning of the book, I was like, what is this? When I read the first like 2 chapters, I was like, hold up, wait a damn minute, did I pick up the wrong book? And then I was like, okay, it's actually good. So that is this one here. I read this one a couple months ago, and I really liked the series. I have the 3 books, so yeah. I haven't read these books in a minute, so I have my notes down on what each one's about. I can't remember. Alright, so the next one is In Pieces by Danielle Pearl. So this is the 4th book out of a 5-book series, which I did not know. I just kind of picked this up at the bookstore. So I think it's kind of like a standalone, interconnected book series. That's what I'm guessing, because I read this and I wasn't confused really, and it's the 4th book in the series. So yeah, this one I really like. This one's based out of college, and she ends up moving to the same college as her brother's best friend, and he's like, don't worry dude, like I'll take care of your sister, like I'll look out for her, like I promise. She's like getting away from her ex, so she moved colleges and all that. But yeah, they knew each other like growing up and stuff, and her brother's best friend's like, yeah, I got it. I got you. Don't worry. Like, she's like my little sister too. But anyway, she ends up getting a whole bunch of attention from guys on campus because she kind of had like a glow up, but not really. He didn't realize like how she looked before, and then now she's getting all this attention. So he's like, oh, I like her, da, 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 you know? So he's trying to protect her, but really he wants her for himself. So that is what this one is about. But yeah, that's this one. He realizes he likes her. Yeah. So that is what this one's about. Alright, so the next one we have here is Come Back to Me by Mila Gray. This is the first book out of a 5-book series. I read this one about a year and a half ago, so if my description of it isn't the greatest, I'm sorry. But this one was really good. So the two main characters' names are Jessa, Jessa and Kit. And they met at 11, and she started like developing a crush on him throughout the years. But yeah, obviously Kit and her brother kind of became best friends in the story. And this kind of is like a military-based story. So Kit and her brother are both in the military. They grew up together. They both enrolled together. Like, they do everything together. Like, they are connected. I think Kit and the brother comes back for a summer or whatever. And they're off. So they end up, Jessa and Kit end up kind of like having this connection. They're kind of like, oh, like I feel this. She's always felt it, but now he's starting to have like feelings for her. So they kind of like secretly start to date in the summer behind her brother's back, and they fall for each other, but the summer ends up like being over, and he has to like redeploy and go back to the Marines and all that. So they have complications in the relationship and all that. But yeah, her brother and him end up going back, and they're trying to figure out like all this while they're separated. This book is very sad. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I haven't read the other ones. I think I have the second book in the series, but I still haven't read any. I haven't read the second one. I read this one and it hit me, so I was like, I can't read it. I was traumatized. So I still need to get the other like 3 books, and I still need to read 4 out of those. So yeah, but this one was very good. Alright, so the last book we have here is Be With Me by Jennifer L. Almond-Trott. This is the second book out of a 6-book series. I read 4 books, I think, out of this 6 series, and this was honestly one of my favorite series that I have read. I haven't read this in like, I think I read this like 2 years ago though, so I can't really remember what it's about, but don't worry, I got my handy dandy notes here to tell you guys. But the main character's name is Teresa, and she's been in love with her older brother's best friend Jace since like forever. They once shared a kiss, and they both ended up keeping a secret. But she, like, obviously she's kind of like, ugh, like she's feeling it, like she's keeping it down, as one would. But yeah, they shared a kiss, and they both kept it a secret. And they end up kind of being like around each other more. As I can't really remember what happened, but they end up kind of spending more time together, and I think they start like developing more feelings for each other, and they can't deny their feelings, but obviously it's like a forbidden love because bro code, duh. So yeah, that's what this one is about. I really love this series though. The 3 books that I like, I read 4 of them, but the 3 out of the 4 that I read, I love them. Like, I think these ones I did give like a 5-star rating, I think. But yeah, this one was so good. I think I might have to reread this soon, because when I read it, but this one was really good. I know it was really good, which is why I had to include it, because usually if I don't really like a book, I'll kind of give it away, but I kept these. But yeah, I think I need to reread this again, because I really like this one, and I can't remember what happened, but the series was very good. So that was the last one in this video. I'm so sorry, that was probably like a very bad description. I'm trying to get better at describing books that I've read already without spoiling them, because I don't want to do that to you guys. But obviously with romance books, you kind of know they're gonna end up together or something else happens. But I feel like it's just kind of inevitable. You know what you're picking up when you're picking up a romance book. You're picking up something for love, right? And a happy story. Well, most of the time. Sometimes it's not a happy ending. Most of the time that's not a love. It's not a romance. But yeah, I'm sorry that was really bad descriptions. I wrote everything down, but I just get kind of confused. And also, I haven't read all of these books in a very long time. Most of them, I would say like 90% of them, I haven't read in a while. So yeah, and I just forget the plot of everything, says every book reader ever. Just forget the main thing of it. But that was that video. If you guys want any more trope videos, let me know. I plan on doing a fake dating trope. I just need to read more of the books. I have like a couple. I'm like growing my list in my notebook here of the fake dating trope. I think I have like 4 books so far. I've kind of been slacking on reading lately. Well, most of the books I've been reading haven't been really tropes like that. I feel like a lot of them have been enemies to lovers because I love that trope. But yeah, this is my little notebook. I don't know why I'm rambling. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that was that video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any book recommendations, let me know in the comments down below because I would love to hear them. But yeah, I love y'all. Do not forget to love yourself. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out, scouts. Bye.